Mr. President, as we bring the 110th Congress to a close, our nation confronts a daunting set of challenges. While we face the gravest crisis since perhaps the Great Depression, we must also remember that we are a nation at war. From Iraq to Afghanistan, from the Pacific to Europe, and countless places in between, American servicemen and women are proudly carrying out their duties to protect our country and our way of life. Under stressful conditions and the constant threat of danger, members of our armed forces do what it takes to get the job done every day. During this holiday season, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to our service members. Their personal courage and honor should not be taken for granted, but genuinely appreciated. And I know that's the sentiment here in the Senate on both sides of the aisle. So today, on behalf of my family, the people of Pennsylvania, and people throughout the country, I thank the members of our armed services and their families, especially those who gave, as Lincoln said, the last full measure of devotion to their country. To the families of those who have died, or for those family members who are remembering those who are far away, serving our country, in either instance, either by way of the loss of a loved one or because of distance, there's obviously a void in the lives of those families. The words of the great recording artist Bruce Springsteen come to mind when I think of what these families are living through today. I remember the words from a song that he wrote right after the 9/11 tragedies. He came out with a number of songs, and one of them was Missing. And some of the lines from that song go as follows. When I, quote, "When I shut out the lights, you're missing. When I close my eyes, you're missing. When I see the sunrise, you're missing." And I really believe that so many families feel that today. They know that someone who is in their life, a member of their family, a son or a daughter, a husband or a wife, who is among them and living and then went off to serve and lost their lives. They feel that real void. They feel that sense of missing a family member or a loved one. But even if they're just away for 6 months or a couple of months or even as long as a year, they're missing, especially at this holiday season. So we're thinking of them today, those families who are living with that loss or living with that void. So far, 190 sons and daughters of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania have sacrificed their lives during Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Since the last time I paid tribute to those who have fallen, 21 Pennsylvania families have lost their loved one. Today, I would like to honor each of them by entering their names into the record. And I'll just list them now. Aviation Boatswain Mate, 3rd Class Daniel Verbeck of Exton, Pennsylvania. Private 1st Class Joshua Waltenbaugh, of Forest City, Pennsylvania. Lance Corporal Travis Stottlemyre of Hatfield, Pennsylvania. Private 1st Class James Yon of Highspire, Pennsylvania. Sergeant 1st Class Sean Zazuk of Hilltown, Pennsylvania. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Marino of Houston, Pennsylvania. Specialist Jason Kazarik of Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Staff Sergeant Ryan Masseth of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Actually just outside of Pittsburgh, a town called Shaler, where Ryan was from. Sergeant Timothy Van Orman of Port Matilda, Pennsylvania. Captain Nathan Rodenbush of Royersford, Pennsylvania. Specialist Luke Runyon of Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. Chief Petty Officer Michael Koch of State College, Pennsylvania. Staff Sergeant Brian House of Stoytown, Pennsylvania. Specialist Michael Hook of Altoona, Pennsylvania. Specialist Zachary Klauser of Dover, Pennsylvania. Staff Sergeant Michael Tully of Falls Creek, Pennsylvania. Staff Sergeant David Weiger of North Huntington, Pennsylvania. Specialist Cammie Florexel of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Private First Class Adam Chitchin of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sergeant First Class David Cooper, Jr. of State College, Pennsylvania. And finally, Captain Eric Foster of Wexford, Pennsylvania. To each of their families, please know that our thoughts are with you today. I extend my sincere gratitude to each of these men and women for accepting the call to service. These men that I just listed were courageous warriors who belonged to the finest military in the world and contributed to something larger than themselves. I would also like to personally thank the men and women of the Pennsylvania National Guard. The Pennsylvania Guard's motto is, quote, "Civilian in peace, soldier in war," unquote. And they have certainly lived up to that motto. With 2 units deploying this winter and spring, the Pennsylvania National Guard is in the midst of its largest deployment since the Korean War. The 20,000 members of the Pennsylvania National Guard who give up the comforts of their civilian lives at a moment's notice, who protect Americans in the mountains of Afghanistan, the sands of Iraq, and worldwide, and who rescue Americans from devastating floods and natural disasters, they deserve our highest praise. Therefore, Mr. President, at this holiday season, I want our service members, our men and women in service to the country, to know that we're thinking of them, that we're praying for their safety and well-being, and for that of their families.